Hey, warrior. You know what's ironic? We spend our lives dodging pain. Yet, it's the moments that break us down, that shape who we're meant to be. Right now, as you watch this, you might be facing something that feels unbearable. Maybe you're in your truck after a grueling day, feeling utterly drained. Maybe it's 2 a.m., lying in bed, wondering why everything fell apart so fast. Or maybe you're just tired of pretending you're okay when you're not. Tired of wearing a mask that's too heavy for your face. Here's the paradox that changes everything, while most see their darkest moments as proof life is against them. The ancient Stoics knew a deeper truth. Your greatest pain is your greatest teacher. The struggles you avoid are the ones that call you to your true strength. Listen, brother. Picture Marcus Aurelius, a man who led an empire yet faced personal tragedies that would crush most. In his private journal, he wrote, "The mind that seeks the good, whether it finds it or not, is honored by the pursuit." He wasn't chasing applause. He was reminding himself that even in loss, in heartbreak, when all seems pointless, there's honor in still seeking the good. I'll be straight with you. This video might bring tears, and I'm not sorry for that. Sometimes, we need to feel the weight of our own strength. Sometimes, we need to recall we've survived every tough day so far. That's no small thing that's extraordinary. We live in a world that tells us to dodge discomfort, scroll past anything that stings, buy something to fill the void inside, distract yourself until the feelings fade. But what if I told you the pain you're running from is the gateway to the man you're destined to become? The Stoics had no smartphones to escape into, no endless distractions to numb their hurt. When Marcus lost his children, when Epictetus endured slavery and torture, when Seneca faced exile and death, they had to confront themselves head-on. In that raw honesty, they found what we've forgotten: pain isn't your enemy. Your struggles aren't proof of weakness. They're the raw material of your transformation. Right now, someone watching this is fighting a battle no one knows about. Someone's grieving a loss that changed everything. Someone's facing a fear bigger than their courage. And someone's wondering if they've got the strength to go on. I'm here to tell you what the Stoics knew you do. Not because you're a superhero, but because you're human. This isn't another video telling you to think positive or pretend problems don't exist. It's about learning to dance with hardship, finding meaning in your chaos, and discovering that the things breaking your heart can open it to hold more love, wisdom, and compassion than you ever imagined. If these words hit home, hit that like button, not for me, but as a vow to yourself that you're ready to hear truths that might unsettle but are necessary. Drop a comment to let me know you're here, fighting your battles with grit. Share this with someone who needs to remember their inner strength. Subscribe to this channel because we're building a brotherhood of men who choose growth over ease. Don't skip any part of this video. Every word is crafted for those who need to hear it. Maybe that's you. What comes next isn't just ideas. It's an invitation to see life differently, to find strength you didn't know you had, and to realize your sensitivity, your struggles, your human heart aren't weaknesses to overcome. They're superpowers waiting to be unleashed. Let us know you're here by commenting this affirmation and standing tall. My pain is becoming my strength. Let me tell you about the day that changed everything for me. And maybe it'll help you see why your worst day is actually your greatest gift. It was a Tuesday, Don't you find life picks Tuesdays to teach us lessons we're not ready for? I woke up thinking it was just another day. By nightfall, everything I thought I knew about myself, my relationships, my future, it all shattered. You know that feeling when the ground beneath you vanishes, when the story you've told yourself about your life stops making sense. That's where I stood. And maybe that's where you stand now. Your worst days aren't punishment, they're a wake-up call. Epictetus, a man who knew dark days, taught that it's not what happens to you that matters, it's how you respond. He didn't say this from a place of comfort. He spoke as a man once enslaved, his leg broken by a cruel master, stripped of everything society deems worth living for. Yet, in the depths of human suffering, he found something profound. When everything external is taken away, what remains is the real you. Your worst day doesn't define you, it reveals you. It shows how strong you are when all else is gone. I remember sitting in my truck that night, crying like a kid, not the cinematic tears you see in movies, but the raw, gut-wrenching kind from deep inside. In that moment of complete collapse, something shifted. I stopped asking why this happened to me and started asking what it was here to teach me. That question changed everything. Suddenly, I wasn't a victim of my circumstances. I was a student of my own life. The pain didn't vanish. It transformed into something useful. The fear didn't disappear. It became fuel for courage I never knew I had. Every hero you admire, every story that moves you, every great man you've read about, they all share this. They faced days when everything fell apart. And they chose the same path you're invited to choose now, to let the breaking become a breaking open. The gift hidden in your worst day isn't obvious at first. It's wrapped in chaos, tied with pain, and shows up at the worst possible time. But inside that terrible gift is everything you need to become the man you're meant to be: compassion for those who suffer, strength for challenges you can't yet imagine. It's the wisdom that only comes from walking through fire and realizing you weren't burned, you were refined. Your worst day isn't the end of your story. It's the start of a better chapter. Not because life gets easier, but because you become stronger, wiser, kinder, and truer. If you're ready to let your hardest moments teach you, drop this in the comments. My worst day made me my best self. Next, why your sensitivity is your secret weapon. They've told you you're too emotional, haven't they? Too intense, too deep. Maybe they said it with concern, maybe with judgment, but the message was clear. Feeling deeply is a flaw in a world that seems to reward numbness. Here's what I wish someone told you sooner. Your sensitivity isn't a mistake to fix. It's a strength you've been taught to hide. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest thinkers, wrote letters to his friend with such raw honesty, such vulnerability, that they still move men too. 000 years later, he said, "Every new beginning comes from another's end." He didn't write as a cold philosopher, but as a man who knew loss, who felt pain only the deeply sensitive can grasp. The Stoics weren't the emotionless machines people think. They were men of profound emotional intelligence. They felt everything. They just learned to feel without being crushed by it. There's a difference between feeling deeply and being swept away by emotion. What's your sensitivity? Really, it's your ability to see what others miss. When someone's hurting, you feel it in your chest. When something's beautiful, it brings you to tears. When something's wrong, your gut knows before your mind catches up. That's not weakness, it's wisdom, no book can teach. Your emotions aren't random. They're data. They're an inner compass trying to tell you what matters. When you're anxious about a relationship, it's not paranoia. It's you sensing real cracks. Your logic hasn't processed yet. When you're fired up about a chance others call crazy, it's not naivety. It's your intuition spotting potential they can't see. The world needs men who feel deeply, men who care so much it sometimes breaks them, because that care changes things. It needs men who notice someone struggling behind a smile, men who feel a sunset's beauty so deeply they pause to take it in, men who sense injustice in their bones and are driven to act. Your tears aren't a sign of weakness, they're proof you're fully alive. Your intense emotions aren't a problem to solve, they're a gift to embrace. Feeling others' pain isn't a burden, it's compassion in action. Don't apologize for feeling deeply. Don't numb what makes you human. True strength is feeling it all and still showing up. Still caring. Still choosing love, despite fear. Your sensitivity is your secret weapon because it lets you connect with others deeper than surface-level bonds. It fuels your ability to create, to love, to inspire, to heal not despite your deep emotions, but because of them. If you agree, comment, "My sensitivity is my strength, not my weakness." The third lesson, the art of losing everything and finding yourself. There's a moment in every man's life when what he thought he needed is ripped away. Maybe it's a job, a relationship, a dream, or someone you loved, gone. Or maybe it's gradual, watching your old life fade until you wake up a stranger in your own story. I want to talk about that moment, because if you haven't faced it yet, you will. And if you're in it now, hear this. You're not falling apart, you're falling into place. Marcus Aurelius knew this better than most. He wrote, "Loss is nothing but change, and change is nature's delight." Those words are easy to read, but hard to live. He wrote them as a man who lost children, saw an empire crumble, faced betrayals that would break most hearts. Yet, he found something profound in loss. When everything external is stripped away, what remains is the unshakable core of who you are. There's a terrible pain and a strange beauty in losing what you thought defined you. It's agonizing because it hurts like nothing you've ever felt. It's beautiful because it forces you to meet the real you beneath the titles, roles, possessions, and relationships that were never truly you. You remember the day you lost what you thought was your whole identity, the career you built for years, the relationship you swore would last forever, the future you planned so carefully, gone in a moment. You sat in an empty apartment, surrounded by boxes, feeling like a stranger in your own life. But here's what no one tells you about rock bottom. It's solid. You can build from there. When you've got nothing left to lose, you've got everything to gain. When your old strategies stop working, you're forced to find new ones. When your old identity crumbles, you get to choose who you'll become next. The art of losing everything isn't just learning to let go gracefully, though that comes with time. It's learning to see loss as liberation. Every ending clears the way for a beginning. Every closed door leads to the one meant for you. Every person who leaves makes room for those who truly belong. Losses aren't punishment for what you did wrong. They're not proof you're not good enough, smart enough, or worthy. They're course corrections from a universe that knows better than you what you need. They're invitations to stop controlling outcomes and start trusting the process. Picture a tree in winter. It looks dead. doesn't it? Bare branches reaching into a grey sky. No leaves. No sign of life. But beneath the surface, in its roots, at its core, life is happening. It's gathering strength for spring. That's you right now, in your season of loss. You may feel empty, broken, alone, but beneath it all, you're building strength for what's next. You're growing roots deeper than anything you've ever had. You're preparing for a version of yourself you can't yet imagine. The art of losing everything is really the art of finding who you truly are. Not the man you thought you should be, but the man you are right now. Someone watching this is mourning a dream that didn't come true. Maybe it's a business that failed, a relationship that ended, a career that never took off, a life you planned derailed by forces beyond your control. You're sitting there wondering if you're a failure, if you should have tried harder, if you're doomed to never get what you truly want. Let me tell you something that might sound crazy. At first, your broken dreams aren't failures. They're redirects to something better than you imagined. Epictetus taught something revolutionary. Don't demand life happens your way. Instead, embrace it as it unfolds. He wasn't preaching passive acceptance, but a truth that clinging to specific outcomes blinds us to better possibilities waiting to unfold. Picture a man who spent 3 years chasing a dream that consumed every waking moment. He sacrificed friendships, health, sleep, joy, all for a vision of success. Then it collapsed. He felt he'd wasted the best years of his life on something that was never his. He was angry at the world, at himself, at everyone living the dream he lost. But here's what he couldn't see in that pain. His shattered dream was clearing the path for a new one. It made room for dreams he didn't even know he had. Ones deeper and truer. The skills he honed, the man he became, the resilience he built. It wasn't wasted. It was groundwork for a life he couldn't have planned, but one that fits the man he's becoming. A broken dream isn't proof you're not enough. It's a sign you're being called to what aligns with your true self. Sometimes, we must let go of dreams that weren't ours to make space for those that are. Think of a river hitting a rock. It doesn't see it as failure. It flows around it, finding a new path, often more beautiful than the one it started on. That rock doesn't stop the river. It shapes a richer journey. Your broken dream is teaching you things success never could. It shows your worth isn't tied to achievements. It reveals strengths you didn't know you had. It builds wisdom only deep hurt can forge. Maybe that ended relationship saved you from settling for a love you deserved better than. Maybe the job you didn't get led you to work that feeds your soul. Maybe the dream you thought was everything was too small for the man you're becoming. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt. I'm not telling you not to grieve what didn't happen. Feel the disappointment fully. It's human. But don't let that sadness convince you you're unworthy of greatness. Don't let one closed door make you think all are locked. Your broken dreams are fertile ground for new ones, to grow dreams that fit you better, that honor the man you've become through the breaking and rebuilding. Trust the process. Even when you can't see the destination, believe your life has a wisdom working for you, not against you. Believe what feels like an end might be the most important beginning you'll ever know. If you're ready to trust that broken dreams lead to better ones, comment, "My broken dreams are becoming better dreams." The fifth lesson: why your struggles are sacred. I need to tell you something that could change how you see every tough moment. Struggles aren't a glitch in the system, they're essential. They're not something wrong, they're something unfolding in ways you didn't expect. We live in a world that treats hardship like a disease to cure fast. Take a pill. Buy a fix. Think positive. Get over it. But what if the things we avoid are the most sacred parts of being human? The Stoics had a beautiful idea called amor fati, love your fate. Not just accepting, not just enduring, but loving it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept what fate brings you and love those it binds you to." He meant your struggles aren't random punishments, they're teachers placed in your path for a reason. I remember a friend going through a divorce after 20 years. She kept apologizing for crying, telling herself to be stronger, blaming herself for not moving on faster. It hit me how sad it is that we're taught to be ashamed of struggle instead of honoring it. Your struggles are sacred because they shape you into someone no other path could create. Your anxiety teaches you empathy for those fighting invisible battles. Your depression deepens your capacity for joy that easy happiness can't touch. Your loss expands your heart to hold more love than you ever thought possible. Every person who's made a real difference, every teacher, healer, artist, leader, innovator shares this. They've faced hardship. They've wanted to give up. They've wondered if they were strong enough, smart enough, worthy enough. And they learned their struggles weren't weakness, they were necessary. You can't comfort someone in their darkest night if you haven't known your own. You can't guide someone through loss if you haven't lost something dear. You can't inspire someone to keep going if you haven't felt like quitting. Your struggles grant you a degree no university can offer, and wisdom no book can teach. But here's what makes it sacred. You get to choose what your struggles mean. You can let them make you bitter or make you wiser. You can let them close your heart or open it to hold more compassion than you ever knew. You can let them convince you life's unfair or teach you that life's hard for everyone. And that's what makes human connection so beautiful. Your struggle is sacred because it's temporary. Not in that it vanishes, but in that it's always shifting, always shaping a new you. The man you were when this fight began isn't the man who'll walk out of it. That transformation, that's the sacred part. You're becoming someone extraordinary, forged in fire, choosing to see it as purification, not destruction. The sixth lesson, the courage to start over. There comes a moment, maybe many, when you realize you must begin again, not because you failed, not because you gave up, but because you've outgrown the life you built for the man you used to be. Starting over at 25 feels like an adventure. At 35, it's daunting. At 45, it seems impossible. No matter your age, when you thought you had it figured out. It takes a courage most don't understand. Seneca, who lost wealth, status, and life itself, knew this. He wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." He didn't mean live longer, but live fuller, even if it means starting over when staying safe would be easier. Picture a woman in her 52nd, leaving a lucrative law career to teach kids. To many, she's lost her mind. Why ditch financial security and prestige for the bottom rung of a new field? Why choose uncertainty over safety? But for her, it wasn't running from something bad. It was answering a deeper call to a life that reignited her passion. Working with children sparked a fire buried for years. She rediscovered why she loved learning. That clarity made the leap worth it. Starting over isn't erasing the past. It's weaving every lesson you've learned into something that makes you new. Every mistake, every lesson, every skill you've gained, it doesn't vanish when you pivot. It's the foundation for what you build next. The courage to start over is trusting yourself more than others' opinions. choosing growth over safety, possibility over certainty. Maybe you're sitting there, knowing you need to start over in some part of your life. Maybe it's a relationship that's been dead for years, but you fear being alone. Maybe it's a job that pays the bills, but kills your soul. Maybe it's the version of you everyone expects, but it feels like wearing clothes that don't fit anymore. Here's what I need you to know. Starting over isn't giving up, it's growing up. It's the difference between settling for what is and creating what could be. The world needs men brave enough to start over. Because you show us it's possible. You prove we're not bound by our first choices, past mistakes, or others' expectations of who we should be. You show life is a series of beginnings, not a long middle with a disappointing end. Starting over means keeping the beauty of your past and leaving behind what no longer serves you. You hold on to wisdom and let go of regret. You honor who you were while embracing who you're becoming. Yes, it's scary. Yes, people may not get it. Yes, you might stumble, struggle, or doubt your choice. But here's what's scarier: reaching the end of your life and realizing you never had the guts to live the life you truly wanted. The future you is counting on the present you to be brave enough to begin again. If you've listened this far, something inside you knows this message is for you, not because your life is harder than anyone's, but because you're ready to see hardship differently. You're ready to stop running from pain and start learning from it. You're ready to stop apologizing for feeling deeply and start using that sensitivity as your superpower. The Stoics knew what we forget. We're not victims of circumstance. We're students of our own lives. Every challenge is a lesson crafted just for us. The tears you've shed watching this aren't weakness, they're awakening. Your soul is recognizing its own strength. Your heart is remembering its resilience. Your spirit is stirring with power you've always had. You came into this world with everything you need to face any challenge. Not easily. Not without scars. Not without moments of wanting to quit. But triumphantly in the end. Your struggles aren't proof something's wrong with you. They're proof you're alive. You care. You're growing into someone extraordinary. If this video stirred something in you, hit the like button as a promise to yourself to stop seeing struggles as problems and start seeing them as preparation. Comment to tell someone who needs it they're not alone. Share this with someone whose heart needs these words. Subscribe, because we're building a brotherhood, choosing to see hardship as the doorway to becoming the man you're meant to be. You're not broken, you're breaking open. If this truth resonates deep in your soul, comment this as a vow to yourself. I'm not broken, I'm breaking open.